A poor little cobbler, one day long ago, sat busily pulling his thread to and fro. He had just enough leather for making one shoe, but not for a pair, and most folks want two. So he said to himself, perchance some fine day a one-legged man will be passing this way. The shoe, when quite finished, he put on the shelf. It looked rather lonely up there by itself. Then he bolted the door. It was winterly weather, and then he and his wife sat down to their supper. Their fire was so small they felt ready to freeze. There was frost on the table and ice on their sleeve. As they sadly sat eating, there came a rat-tat. "Dear me," said the lady, "whoever is that? A customer surely would wait till tomorrow. It must be a neighbour to beg or to borrow." They opened the door, and whom did they see? Why, the weeniest woman that ever could be. Just 6 inches high, and that isn't tall, and yet she was wearing a bonnet and shawl. She said, "I'm the woman that lived in a shoe. My house is worn out and the rain's coming through. There's a hole in the sole and a leak in the toe, and my neighbour, the robin, declares it will snow. I left my poor children all crying for dread. We all shall be drowned, dear mother," they said. Now the poor little cobbler had such a soft heart. With the newly made shoe he decided to part. The little wee woman was pleased as could be. She paid with a withered red leaf from a tree. Then bobbed them a curtsy, a smile on her face, and dragged off her shoe house by its beautiful lace. "She must be a fairy," they said, "she's so small. But fancy a fairy in bonnet and shawl." The poor little cobbler, he heaved a big sigh. His poor little lady looked ready to cry. From the best china teapot she took off the lid, and the red withered leaf within it she hid. Next morning the lady went straight to the shelf, but the pot was too heavy to lift by herself. And when they peeped, now what do you think? It was full of bright money, all chinkety-chink. The poor little cobbler was really entranced. He took his wife's hands, and together they danced. For now they were rich and could rest from their labours, and had plenty of money to help their poor neighbours.
Where have you been all the day, Billy Bye, Billy Bye? Where have you been all the day, my Billy Bye? I've been walking all the day with my charming Nancy Day. My Nancy diddle, my Tansy, oh, my charming Billy Bye. Can she cook a bit of steak, Billy Bye, Billy Bye? Can she cook a bit of steak, my Billy Bye? She can cook a bit of steak, a fork, a coo, a steak. Nancy diddle me tansy, oh my charming Billy Bye. Can she cook an apple cake? Billy Bye, Billy Bye. Can she cook an apple cake? My Billy Bye. She can cook an apple cake to make a cornel cake. Nancy diddle my tansy, oh my charming Billy Bye. Is she fit to be your wife? Billy Bye, Billy Bye. Is she fit to be your wife, my Billy Bye? She is fit to be my wife, walking to a knife. My Nancy diddle my tansy, oh my charming Billy Bye.